There is the freshman Romeo Langford.
Not afraid of anything out there.
He's so good at getting into the lane and getting fouled and finishing through contact. Really, again, a gifted offensive player.
Romeo Langford, the local kid who took on the pressure of staying home in Indiana, giving fans and NBA scouts glimpses of the effortless talent that resulted in an RSCI number 6 ranking and incredible hype at a young age. Langford is one of the smoothest shot creators in the entire draft, with the prototype tools teams are looking for in a scoring guard. Physically, Langford most closely resembles Jason Richardson, with both standing 6'6" in shoes, close to 215 pounds with near 7-foot wingspans, and standing reaches close to 8'7". Ideal tools for an NBA guard. Langford's season fell short of expectations, as the Hoosiers finished 19-16, missed the NCAA tournament, and Langford's effort level and shooting were consistently under the microscope, although he played through a thumb injury suffered in late November. If Langford would have shut it down then, we might be talking about him as a potential top 5 pick, as he entered his collegiate career with considerable buzz as a natural 3-level scorer with the size, length, and athleticism that every team covets. The 19-year-old Langford has elite physical tools for an NBA off-guard with ideal size, length, and reach to go along with an impressive frame and smooth athleticism that allows him to play above the rim in space. Langford has long strides to the rim with impressive extension, thanks to that 8'7" standing reach and 6'11" wingspan, as you can see here when he puts Jaren Jackson Jr. on a poster in high school. While not active enough off the ball, he has the bounce and reach to catch lobs off 2 feet, and is capable of uncoiling at the rim off of 1 as well, a key trait amongst some of the NBA's elite finishers. On top of his leaping ability and length, Langford is also fluid pushing in transition with the ability to change speeds and directions before taking hits at the rim. He plays the game low to the ground and has a deceptively quick first step, especially from a standstill with rip-throughs. Langford is one of the single most gifted shot creators in the draft, with the potential to eventually function as a team's primary scorer in the half court. It starts with his ability to play pick and roll, which made up 26% of his offense, ranking in the 90th percentile in terms of efficiency. While not a great shooter, Langford is more than capable off the dribble, as he finished in the 65th percentile on 110 attempts, punishing teams that go under pick and roll. Despite an unorthodox release, Langford has natural touch and has even shown the ability to create space with stepbacks after dragging out the big, covering an incredible amount of ground with his moves. If the guard defender gets caught on the screen, Langford torches bigs with stepbacks, remaining on balance because he generally plays the game low to the ground with a strong base. He's smooth with his pickups, going from combo move into his pull-up quite seamlessly. Langford is also capable of stopping on a dime in either direction, planting 1-2 from the elbows. Langford is then able to play off of that pull-up to get defenders in the air with head fakes before finishing with leaners. Dating back to his high school years, Langford has always benefited from his low center of gravity, here slithering past Jaren Jackson for the extensive finish. The Indiana native has a great feel for drawing fouls as well, generating 7.1 free throws per 40 minutes as a freshman. He's also comfortable handling hard hedges, changing direction on a dime before navigating his way to the rim. Langford's ability to change speeds ever so slightly freezes drop defenders, giving him a seam to the rim. And although he plays with a score-first mentality, he's not totally clueless as a passer either, hitting the roll man on occasion when he's engaged. While his ball screen game is what's most projectable, Langford has long been most dangerous out of isolations, particularly out of triple threat situations. He uses jab steps to rock defenders back and will even lean on stepbacks to create additional space to get a shot off against length. Langford can then play off of that jab step to freeze defenders, only to unleash pullback dribbles that we see from some of the league's most gifted shot creators. He can do it from the mid-post and the elbows as well, swinging the ball over the top and then utilizing those pullbacks, while maintaining impressive balance. With his pull-up package now in the back of the mind of the defender, Langford can use his patented rip-throughs to dust opponents. He plays lower than his defender, rips the ball through, and attacks that outside foot instinctually. He utilizes this simple yet effective move to reject ball screens as well, and is most dangerous from the elbows, either sweeping underneath or ripping over the top to get the angle. Langford has a live dribble ISO scoring package also, starting with simple pullbacks here against Jaren Jackson Jr. From there, he plays off that pullback, attacking with a through-the-legs dribble once he sees his defender leaning, then stepping back to his right. He's not a great shooter, but he's a high degree of difficulty shot maker with natural touch. He'll again use that stop and start through the legs move to get to his right hand, this time taking him to the front of the rim. All in all, Langford's combination of pick and roll and isolation scoring at 6'6" is what makes him such an intriguing NBA prospect. On top of his ability to create shots at will, Langford is also one of the draft's best finishers, converting 63.6% of his shots in the half court, an impressive mark for a perimeter player on a team with no shooting. Langford's ability to extend at the rim with his 6'11 wingspan is a huge reason for his success, here with the inside hand flip against Jack White. His incredibly long strides come into play also. Look at where he picks the ball up here and just how much ground he's able to cover, somehow getting to the other side of the rim before spinning the ball off the glass. Whether it's an inside hand finish on the left side or a right hand finish on the right side, Langford extends as well as any perimeter player in the draft, gathering off 2 feet quickly without slowing his momentum to the rim. He has great touch off the glass and dropped in several finishes late in games at Indiana. Even prior to IU, Langford always showed excellent touch on floaters, whether off one leg or two. Top to bottom, he's the best finishing guard in the draft. Given Langford's hand injury, it's natural to wonder if a lot of these live dribble turnovers would have been eliminated if he were fully healthy. Although right-hand dominant, he lost the ball more often than expected, and could certainly look more sure-handed with the rock when at full health. Although a below-average defender at Indiana, Langford gave us glimpses, especially on the ball, and he has the type of proportionate frame, length, and footwork to defend up to 3 positions in the NBA. Few perimeter players in the country have the strength to body up R.J. Barrett to the rim, but Langford did exactly that on multiple occasions, holding his ground and bothering him with his near 7-foot wingspan. His body allows him to contain, while his big reach helps him contest, here blocking Darius Baisley's mid-range pull-up at the high school level. Even when he gave up a step to the rim, he's able to recover with length, bothering jump shooters or finishers regularly. In 81 career games, according to our database, Langford averaged 1.0 blocks per 40 minutes, an impressive mark for an off-guard. Although he didn't play with enough physicality or toughness over the course of the season, Langford at least has the body to bang with bigger wings on the block when he's motivated. Off the ball, he's perpetually in chill mode, but on the ball, he has the tools to be an elite defender if he ever buys in. Part of what makes Langford a tough sell for teams is his lack of impact when he doesn't have the ball in his hands, causing some to question just how he'll fit alongside other shot creators. Langford is rarely shot ready, so used to playing isolation ball as the primary ball handler in high school. He relaxes on dribble penetration, not having his hands and feet ready, which would really speed up his release and improve his accuracy. When he does let it fly, Langford ranked in only the 21st percentile on catch and shoot jumpers and in the 4th percentile when heavily contested, shooting just 4 of 26 in these situations. While playing through a hand injury is in part to blame, Langford has never been a particularly effective spot-up shooter, with a career percentage of 28.2% from 3 on 319 attempts. He can become more comfortable shooting 1 or 2 dribble pull-ups when run off his spots as well. What's maybe more frustrating than his lack of a clean catch-and-shoot jumper is his subdued nature when off the ball. He's not an active cutter and is too willing to stand in the corner if he's not involved in the primary action. He doesn't use screens with any purpose and walks around way too often on the floor, turning off scouts with his body language. Then when he does get hit with a pass, he's ill-prepared, doesn't hold his follow-through, and misses open looks. Just look at how relaxed he is after he gives up the ball here, almost never relocating with any sense of urgency. Between his shaky spot shooting and lack of activity, Langford has a long way to go in terms of his ability to impact the game when he doesn't have the ball in his hands. On top of his lack of off-ball value, Langford's shooting really needs some fine-tuning, hand injury or not. You can see how cocked back the ball is here, with it almost hitting his forehead before he goes into his release. It actually comes out of his hand fairly cleanly and off the proper trigger fingers, but the windup is unorthodox with far too many moving parts. For Langford to be able to fully maximize his potential as a primary shot creator, he needs to be making shots, particularly pull-ups. If his jumper isn't falling, he becomes a fairly predictable driver who doesn't make anyone better or bring defensive energy. Langford remains streaky, even off the dribble. While these are some difficult shots, you can see how he almost always snake bites his release, failing to finish the shot. He lives off these contested pull-ups, so finding a way to knock them down with more consistency is going to be a huge key to becoming the smooth three-level scorer that Langford has the talent to develop into. One of Langford's biggest bugaboos at this stage is his decision-making. While a gifted shot generator, is he smart enough of a player to hand the ball to and say, go create the majority of our offense? Langford is still searching for the right blend between shooting jumpers and attacking the rim, as he lives off a lot of tough stepbacks. He doesn't always have the best feel for time and score either, with an extremely casual, lackadaisical approach. As you can see here against Darius Baisley in high school, showing no urgency to rush the ball up the court and get a high quality shot. He can make basic reads, but he doesn't see the floor instinctually either. Here missing the roll man over the top, killing his dribble, and jacking a desperation pull-up with 18 seconds still on the shot clock as Justin Smith stands wide open at the top of the key. No, Langford didn't have much shooting around him, but he iced out his teammates way too often. Here missing either Juwan Morgan on the roll or Demezi Anderson on the right wing. His first instinct is to drive, and he's not always willing to make the quick swing pass to an open shooter in the corner. You can see his teammates' body language when he catches the ball, as Morgan's hands immediately go down, knowing he's not going to get a look. He misses basic drop-offs as well, and will have to become a much more willing facilitator for his future coaches to live with some of the shots he takes. Again, Langford is prone to playing too much hero ball, jacking runners with his head down in late clock situations. He's going to look better in the NBA with spacing and shooting around him, but he doesn't play read and react basketball and is a bit too predetermined with his moves, relying a lot on one-legged runners. When he does decide to pass, he doesn't quite have the natural feel or vision to execute. Even more frustrating than that is Langford's catch and hold style. It's a bit of a catch-22, as he's really at his best creating out of triple threat situations, but he regularly kills offensive flow as a ball stopper. His style puts an end to all side-to-side movement, and way too often his teammates just stood and watched as he tried to put his cape on and create something miraculous. He's too nonchalant with the ball as well, leading to too many avoidable turnovers. While the injury forced him to rely more on his left hand, Langford has always been extremely right-hand dominant. Put him on his left in pick and roll and he's far less sure-handed. Even when he has a seam to attack to his left, he'll turn it down, either giving the ball up or pulling it back with a loose handle, firing a jumper. He struggles reacting to help defense when he attacks going left as well, and has trouble when defenders sit on his right hand, knowing he's going to go to that patented through the legs dribble to get downhill. Although he's an outstanding right-hand finisher, Langford is not nearly as effective with his left, which he doesn't go to very often when he's in a crowd. To evolve into the elite scorer and shot generator he has the potential to be, developing his left hand will be key for Langford long term. Maybe the biggest criticism of Langford last season was his relaxed demeanor defensively. A low-energy personality by nature that showed up too often on the defensive end, both on and off the ball. Although more than capable, he allowed more physical forwards to go through him in the paint, not showing enough fight or resistance. Then here against RJ Barrett, he allows the Duke wing to get right to the front of the rim off the pin down. Then again against Darius Baisley, showing little fight or determination. While he's proven what he can do when he's fully engaged, the toughness just isn't there with any consistency. Then on the ball in the perimeter, he'll bite on fakes and just stand and watch after the shot goes up. He takes breaks on the ball at times, but his real issue is off the ball. Here he gets caught ball watching, losing Iowa's best shooter and giving him an open look from three. Then against Michigan State, right when Aaron Henry gives the ball up, Langford goes into chill mode, dropping back into the paint, losing Henry and allowing him to walk into an elbow jumper. His head is completely turned here against Amir Coffey, initially not seeing the back screen. Then when he does, he gets lost in space again as the skip pass goes right over his head for an open three. Whether in high school or in college, Langford has always had a tendency to stand and watch as he gets back cut for easy finishes. He needs to also show more urgency chasing shooters. He's late reacting and runs into screeners, resulting in open looks. Despite his strong frame, he dies on screens, not showing enough fight. He doesn't always take the best angles on closeouts either, and has a lot of bad habits to squash before he can fully maximize his defensive potential. On top of that, Langford doesn't make high-intensity winning plays, jogging back on defense after turnovers, or standing around on the defensive glass. He was a great positional rebounder in high school, but that didn't translate to the college level with any consistency.
How about that?
He can finish. The guy can finish around the rim.
He can step back, he can lean in. That's his comfort zone right there.
Despite sound production at 16.5 points per game and a 20.1 PER, Langford surely didn't improve his stock with his play this season, leaving college with more questions than when he entered. He shot 27.2% from three, was unable to lead a flawed Indiana team to the NCAA tournament, and didn't always win scouts over with his introverted demeanor and sometimes lackadaisical approach. But it's important to keep in mind just how talented Langford truly is, as it's hard to name 4 or 5 more prospects in this draft with as much upside as Romeo, and jumbo shot creators in his mold are most certainly in vogue, even if he needs to improve his ability to play off the ball. If Langford lands in the right situation with shooting around him in an environment that can keep him engaged, he has the talent to live up to his lofty high school ranking with his play in the NBA.